Before we move on, I'm going to try and tidy this file up a little bit. Here in the accept block, we've got value equals unspecified error and then print value. That was a sort of legacy issue when we had a separate value statement. So if I can show you inside the block, we had print value there, so whatever value was set to here or here was going to be printed out finally here. Well, we deleted that and we no longer needed that. However, we didn't really tidy up our code to go with it. So this is a bit of a nonsense really, where value equals a string and then just print the string. We could just have the same effect by printing the string. In other words, not bothering to set the variable. So I'm going to do that to begin with. But that's just a little bit of sugar coating. What I really want to do is handle the state where we get an error. At the moment, if we get the result back which starts off with person, we handle it in this block and we do something with it. However, if it's not person and it comes back as fail, all we do is print out the value. So let me show you what I mean by that. If we come back to PHP, I type in a statement which is going to make it fail, where age is greater than 90. We know that one's going to fail because there's no records. So if I run it, I'll show you the message we get, which is fail, error, message, no results returned. Now at the moment, all we do for any failure is just print out the value. Well, the value for fail is error. So every single time we fail, whether it's no results returned, something not set, all we're doing is printing error. Really, I would like to be able to print out no results returned, so that I've got more of a handle on what is going wrong and it makes more sense. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So if I go back to my Python, this is fine. So if I've got the value fail, which value is then going to be the string error, and we can see that if I just run this. I'm just going to get the word error. But I could tack on to the end of that why it failed. And the way to do that is just to concatenate the string together, and I've used the comma so that it joins the string together and leaves a space in between the two. What I need to do is pick up the result. If you remember, our answers are in result, and the key is message, and it's got a capital M. So I need to ensure that I start with capital M there. Possibly a little bit of bad coding there. It might be better if when I was setting these keys up that I stuck to lowercase or uppercase to begin with, and then I probably wouldn't make mistakes, because if I typed in just message with a lowercase m, it's not going to work. I'll show you that in a second. So now I've picked up the error and the result. So when I run the program, you'll see what I mean. There we go. I now have an error, no results returned. Going back, if I try out another type of error, so if I put that back there and change that password, and now try to run my program, I get error, connection failed. So the messages that are being returned now are a little bit more meaningful and help me spot where the problem is. Now this is case sensitive, it's a string, it's case sensitive, so if I'd have put a lowercase m in there and try to run that, I'm going to get my unspecified error, which is a little bit strange because it seems to have run and told me it's an error. So it seems to have managed this part and then fallen through to this exception and printed the unspecified error, and the exception would have occurred because there was nothing returned in this. So be careful of the case. Again, maybe I would tidy up like I did with fail here, change things to fail. Maybe I'll have all of my keys always lowercase. It's personal choice, but it can lead to difficulty when trying to debug your code, finding out where the actual errors are. So let me just check that's running again. There we go, connection failed, and let's put it back so that there is no errors whatsoever, and I can get my data. I don't like leaving it in a state where it's erroring and I don't know what's happening. There we go, we're back to normal. So in the next video, what I'm going to start looking at now is actually getting values from either a web page or Python, and managing those values using get and post in my PHP.